Sweo, Wilelik Telsquia, quoi, Ch'íyáqtel. My traditional name is Wilelik. My given name is Derek Epp, Chief of Tzeachten, also known as Tzeachten First Nation, located in Chilliwack, British Columbia. Been part of this board, this organization for quite some time now, I think like 8 years, and honored to be here. I was a social worker, frontline social worker working for our Aboriginal delegated agency, and was asked by a few members to run in our election. I said no numerous times. I was only 26, so it was 10 years ago now, and he wasn't even going to show up to the nomination night. And I got some calls from some of our matriarchs who reminded me of our cultural protocols and how disrespectful it would have been if I didn't show up. And I said, okay, fine, at least I'll show up and be there. Never was on council, grew up on the res, of course, grew up going to community functions, being involved. I knew our community, but didn't really have any intentions of running. If I can describe Ch'íyáqtel to nobody who's really heard of us, our community, I think, is, we like to call ourselves a little band that could. We are very much grassroots in who we are. I'm so honored that we've built such a positive membership base that we try to engage. We make sure we try to keep informed the best we can, and we learn from right from our elders to our children. We try to engage at all different levels, and we're educated, we're progressive, we're forward thinking, and I'm very grateful to have the past leaders of Glenda Campbell, Grand Chief Joe Hall, who have come before me and set the stage for me to be able to pick up that ball and continue with that progression. Being able to really stand on our own 2 feet and really flip that script of government dependency to self-sufficiency and self-determination. And that's something that I think I'd want our community to be remembered by and remembered for. Early on in my tenure as chief, I think my first year or second year, I decided that it was important to go engage membership in a very different way. I hosted family meetings, so got together with, I'd say, around 60 to 70% of our membership base, hosted them for dinners or lunches, either went to their homes, hosted them in one of our community facilities, and got a bit of a mandate as to where we need to focus. And knowing that we were getting better at generating revenue and then starting to realize some own source revenue and being able to reinvest that back into the community, but wanted to get a mandate as to how and what areas are we falling short on, where can we improve. Programs and services is always an area I think membership are desperate for, right? And really looking at how we can help provide and empower our membership to realize their best self. And I think that's something that's really passionate for me. Not at per capita distributions. That's something that I think I'm really grateful for our past leadership for instilling in our membership, is that we're here to give a hand up, not a handout. And I think that's really given a mandate to reinvest the revenue streams, but also to provide a level of programming to support our membership's well-being. I think private equity, mergers and acquisitions is a new path forward for First Nations that I do believe should be tapped into a bit more. And the opportunities there with the financing that we have at the First Nations Finance Authority to tap into low-cost capital, which makes these acquisitions that much more feasible. When you're private or commercial lender, your interest rates can be substantially higher. So we have the ability to bring in, as a strategic partner, to purchase businesses and bring them together. So seeing what we were spending on mental health to service our membership, I saw it as an opportunity to how do we begin to acquire health businesses that not only support our membership, but generate wealth. And now we're down this path of looking at, so we acquired 2 mental health companies, brought them together from coast to coast. We are now the biggest First Nations mental health provider in Canada, which is something I'm extremely proud of. It's a business that I think our membership can be really proud of as well. And now we're going to be looking at medical imaging, elders care, assisted living, actually even funeral homes and funeral assistants, and looking in this continuation of health. And how can we really support our members from birth and realistically to going on their final journey to the other side. Yeah. So it's really exciting to be a part of it. It's a different outlook on economic growth, but of course coupling that with the traditional economic tools that we've developed through taxation and leveraging those tax dollars, as any government has to do, to provide the necessary infrastructure, affordable housing, asset bases, so our membership can begin to generate their own generational wealth. And that's what we're beginning to see now. It's been really an honor to be a part of the FNFA and be in the position as chair and deputy chair for quite some time, and working with this board, the past chair Warren as well, and working with Ernie, with Jody, with Rachel, with James, the whole FNFA team, the family. I'm really proud of the work we've done over the last, I think, 8 years I've been with this sport of going from issuing debentures in the hundreds of millions was a big deal for us and still is, to now this quarter alone doing $1.2 billion in debentures. Ernie and I were in London a couple years ago for an investment summit that I was grateful to be a part of. And we were very vocal and bold and bullish about when the next 3 to 5 years we're going to be surpassing this $10 billion mark. And here we are maybe a year and a half later, going to be cracking, I think, close to that $6 billion mark this year. Just the diversity of loans that are going out is really just amazing to see. And the impact, I mentioned the impact of wealth, and defining wealth for a community is so different. And I think our definition of wealth is seeing the impacts of these economic investments is the reduction, or in our case, we have no kids in the care of the ministry. That's wealth. We're able to provide affordable housing to our membership and reduce, if not complete, our housing list. That's wealth. We're able to see our kids have their own bedrooms, their own beds. Our elders have spaces beside their family members. They can get soup when they're sick. That's wealth, in my opinion. We have our kids playing at the parks all around our facilities together. Our cousins reintegrating with each other. Our facilities are spaces where we can gather. That's wealth. And I do think lessening the dependence on social assistance, these are all indicators that I will define and will stand behind as impacts from having access to capital, having access to economic wealth, and having the ability to reinvest back into our membership and become self-determining without being told how to spend our money from ISK. And that, to me, is the critical. It's shifting our relationship away from Indigenous Services Canada to a relationship with finance, an economic relationship where we can actually begin to step away from the Indian Act on our terms. I did look to myself 12 years ago before I even got elected as chief. One thing that my dad's always instilled in me is just be proud of myself and be really proud of the work that I've been able to be a part of, and really don't be afraid to go after it. It's something that I always try to remind myself is I'm fortunate to be here. I've also put myself out there to be here. I've always thought differently and really been very positive in what I try to do. Life's tough out there as is. I know the reality is tough for so many of our community members, our communities, individually, collectively. But I think together we can do so much when we support one another, when we uplift one another, when we think of that positivity and be proud of one another. No matter what your role is in life, you go back to our teachings as everybody has a gift. And no matter what that gift is, they're all equally as important. And I think we all have such a special part to play in this world that we're living in, this journey we're on. Life's short, get after it. That's what I always try to encourage our youth as well. And but don't lose focus of what's important in life too. And that's really ultimately your community, your family, those that love you, and really ultimately be proud of yourself.